Bitcoin just dropped heavily. So is the bottom in? Well, we have a few different scenarios for that. So the first one here, we are looking at a zigzag down a correction. And then we are, in this scenario, thinking that the correction is over and are looking for an impulse up. So this is the last part before we are going to take out all-time high. So here we have an impulse up. You can count this a little bit differently, but the result is the same, as you can see here. So here we are counting this as a WXY, a double zigzag down. The issue here is that you see that wave X here is very low in time. So it hasn't even hit the 38.2 fib in time, which lowers the probabilities that this is indeed a correction. So it is higher probability that this is part of this move down. And therefore, we can't really give this the highest probability. I also have the 886 here, which is a very rare target for a wave 2. So if we hit this 886, this scenario with an impulse up basically has very, very low probability. So that is the first scenario for the impulse up. And this is the same as I mentioned, just counted a little bit differently. Then we have a WXY, a double zigzag, a bigger structure. In the last example, we had a zigzag down and we were finished, looking for impulse up. Here we are looking for a double zigzag. So a WX, and now we're looking for lower prices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an A. Presumably we are finished here. And after that we are looking for a correction in a wave B and then a finishing wave C. The reason why we are looking for a double zigzag here is that because if we take the fib here, you can see that we didn't touch the 70 fib target here. And if we hit that, the probabilities are way higher that we are dealing with a sideways correction. But since we didn't hit it, the probabilities are higher that we are looking for a double zigzag or a triple zigzag, but that's extremely uncommon. So a double zigzag is pretty much what we're looking for. So that kind of plays out because we had a very clear impulse here. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could have a leg down even further, but yeah, it's a clear impulse. You can't really count this as a corrective structure. You can if you force it, but it counts better as an impulse if you put it like that. So here we are looking for lower prices, but before that we need to correct this, because if it's an impulse, then we are looking for a correction, a three-way correction, before we are getting another impulse down. So this would be a good time to go long here. No financial advice, but you take every opportunity you can get. So that is the double zigzag scenario. And after this scenario, we are looking to take out this high, because this is correcting something. And if it's correcting something, it is the previous all-time high, which is here. This is a more sideways kind of approach to it. So here we have a W, and here we have a W, X, and a Y. So here we are looking for wave X. So the difference between this and this is that here we're looking for wave B and having an impulse down. Here we're looking for wave X, and we can't have an impulse down because this is wave Y, and you can't have an impulse in a wave Y. So here we are looking for a zigzag or a flat or a triangle. But if we don't hit the 70, we need to have a zigzag basically in a way Y. But if we hit the 70, as I just mentioned, this fib target, then we need to count it as a sideways structure. And since we had a zigzag here in wave W, wave Y can only be a triangle or a flat. And a flat is the highest probability of those. You can, in theory, have a triangle in X, but that is very rare. And if you have a triangle in X, it's extremely rare to have a triangle in Y as well. I read somewhere that it has never been seen. So yeah, maybe this is the first time we will witness a double triangle unicorn, but I don't think so. It's got to be lower than 0.1% or something that will happen. So if this happens and we take out the 70 fib, then we are looking for a flat or a triangle here. If we can't hear a triangle, as I just mentioned. And the move down here, this can be counted a little bit differently, but all roads lead to Rome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we are counting it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a finishing ending diagonal. This is counting it as a WXY. And yeah, this is ABC, and you have the 4 here. It doesn't really matter because we are now looking for upside, for a correction after we have this impulse down. So an important thing to take with you from this is the channel technique here. You can see I mentioned in the last video that you can easily spot the corrections by using a channel, because corrections tend to keep within a channel. So here you can see that this move is over when we are reaching this channel. And here we have like an overthrow, but it's common that it isn't perfect, but you can see that it's in the channel. So if we get a break from this channel, we can expect a correction. And depending on the correction we get, if we get an impulse or a zigzag, basically a three-wave pattern, we can take it from there. But we are expecting upside now, if we're not just pushing a little bit lower. But yeah, upside. The bias is to the upside to hit the B or the X, basically. And here I need to move that down there, of course. So that was it. Hope you enjoy. Take care.